Lawmakers are calling on Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg to testify on Capitol Hill about the abuse of user data. Facebook is under fire because data from more than 50 million users was inappropriately given to Cambridge Analytica. That data firm used it to target political messages in the 2016 campaign. Louisiana Republican Senator Sen Kennedy joins us from Washington. He is leading the bipartisan push for a hearing with tech industry CEOs. Senator Kennedy, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being with us. What would you want to hear from Mark Zuckerberg if he were to make it up to the Senate to testify?
Facebook's a wonderful company, but it's no longer a company. It's a country. Enormous power. Does many beneficial things, but it clearly has a corrosive effect. I would like to see Mr. Zuckerberg, not his lawyer, Mr. Zuckerberg, in the flesh, come and talk with us. Let's talk about this. Let me ask him a few questions. To what extent, if any, when we go on Facebook, are we living in a contrived world created by Facebook's algorithms, sort of like Truman in the movie The Truman Show? I would like to know to what extent Facebook has been a good steward of our data. I'd like to talk about the bargain we've made with Facebook. We know what we as consumers get. We get free access to the site. What exactly does Facebook get, and what are they doing with it? And I guess the overarching question is, how can we preserve the good things about Facebook? And there are good things, while at the same time stopping the corrosive effects of Facebook as a social media platform and other social media platforms.
So, Senator, this sounds like more than just a response to a single incident. This sounds like a full body exam that's going to take a long time to get through.
Yes, and it's worth it. Let me say it again. Facebook does many good things. It does, in some respects, bring us closer together. But in other respects, we have discovered it pushes us apart. And particularly the data, the amount of data being collected, how the data is being used, whether it's being used with our consent. I mean, the Cambridge Analytica stuff is, it's kind of getting into the foothills of creepy here. And we need to address that. And I appreciate Mr. Zuckerberg finally saying something, and I appreciate his apology. But that's not enough. We need to sit down and visit. I'm not looking to regulate him to death. But I can tell you this, the issue isn't going away. Facebook and the other social media companies can do it with Congress or without. That's their call. I would respectfully suggest they can do it the easy way, the hard way.
Senator, you mentioned the foothills are creepy here with Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
President Trump's team used that. Senator Cruz's team used that. So this isn't just about Facebook. This is the politicians, or what's your view about the politicians who've been dwelling in the foothills of creepy?
Well, the very first successful politician who mastered the art of mining data on Facebook was President Obama's campaign. I mean, he was the pioneer. And plenty of politicians use Facebook to articulate their message. Nothing wrong with that. And I'm not saying Cambridge Analytica did the right thing here. It certainly looks like they're part of the definition of creepy. But the issue is bigger than just one media consultant abusing Facebook. I want to know if there have been other cases of abuse. I want to know how they're protecting our data. I want to know how they're going to stop the Russians from interfering in our midterm elections.
Senator,
they clearly interfered in the last election.
You bring up Russians, and Mark Zuckerberg said he didn't know if some user data got in the hands of Russian operatives. How much does that concern you? And should President Trump bring this up, among other issues, with Vladimir Putin?
Well, the issue is not whether Mr. Zuckerberg knew. The issue is whether he should have known. The issue is whether, and I'm not saying they were, whether the company was negligent or reckless. How serious are they taking data protection? How serious are they vetting their advertisers? Or are they just saying, okay, let's see if the check clears. If the check clears, put them on. They sent their lawyer. All the media companies sent their lawyers to the last hearing. It was a waste of shareholder money for the media companies, and it was a waste of our time. because their lawyers did their job. They dodged, bobbed, weaved, stalled, restalled. They didn't say a damn thing. And we can do better than that. And Mr. Zuckerberg is obviously a very bright, accomplished, successful young man. I have no doubt that if he'll sit down with us, we can do something that will improve Facebook.
Can I ask you, Senator, about another story that's been in the news, the possible leaks at the White House, that President Trump was allegedly told in capital letters, do not call Vladimir Putin to congratulate him on his victory. That apparently has been leaked from the White House. What do you make of what's going on over there, and are you concerned about it?
Yeah, I'm concerned. The president ought to be concerned. Mr. Kelly we all ought to be concerned. It's unconscionable. If you dislike the president that much and you're still working for him, you don't have a soul. You ought to quit. I mean, there can't be more than a handful of people who had access to this information. And I'm not saying the American people don't have a right to know, they do. Mm-hmm. But I'm also saying that a president, whoever the president is, has a right to surround himself with people who at least have a modicum of loyalty and sort of have his best interest and the best interest of the American people at heart at a minimum. And I think leaking this was unconscionable. They need to prosecute whoever did it. They need to dig a big old hole underneath the jail and put the person there, because it's wrong.
Dual outrage on the leak and also on the action of congratulating Vladimir Putin. Senator Kennedy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.